Hello, friend. This is Dr. Tracy. I'm so glad you joined us today on this podcast of Recover Who You Are. This is Kingdom Recovery just for today. And today we're looking at the tool of focusing on our solutions rather than our problems. I'm very excited about this topic that we're going to discuss today because I think it will help everyone listening in some way. God did not say He was the I was. Nor did He say, I am the I will be. He said, I am that I am. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to learn how to live in today, in the right now. One thing I've noticed about people who are recovering and coming out of addiction or other traumatic events or losses in their life is that they tend to either live in the guilt of their past or the regrets of their past or the fear of the future. So today, I want to talk about focusing on solutions, not problems, and the way that we do that is by living in the now. This is a life skill that every person has to learn about, and it seems to be more of a struggle for some than others. If we constantly focus on things that are in the past or things beyond our control in the future, we will not be able to find solutions to our present issues, and the situations in our lives today will remain unchanged. As long as we focus solely on the issue that brought us low or brought us loss, and not how to get healed from the loss and how to get up from that low place, we will remain in a constant state of discouragement, fear, anxiety, apathy, and these lead to a miserable life of hopelessness. And what else? Relapse. That relapse may appear as a symptom such as isolating or pushing down pain, or can even result in the use of a substance or addictive behavior that we are trying to get free from. Now, repeating a cycle that makes us feel numb, we feel different but not better, and no result comes, and we are not able to remove the issue that is in front of us. Perhaps the constant thought of a problem we had with an ex can result in overcompensation in other relationships that eventually causes us to be shipwrecked. Irritability or even irrational or negative behaviors, displays of anger or manipulation can also be the result of our focusing on a problem from our past rather than our solution. A great example of that is trying to drive a car forward while you're looking through the rearview mirror, or maybe even the side mirrors of your car. You can't go very far without hitting something or driving crazy and reckless, because you weren't meant to drive forward in that manner. In order to go forward in your car, you have to focus on the windshield in front of you 99% of the time. And that is how it is in your life of recovery. You have to focus on the present, where you are right now, versus what's behind you or miles ahead of you. You may glance occasionally to the left or the right mirror, or even the rear view mirror, but your focus has to remain in front of you most of the time. When we focus on problems, it's no different than trying to drive that car forward while looking through the wrong apparatus. You cannot focus on your past or on what you can't control in the future and expect to go forward in life. You're going to crash and burn, or you're going to get stuck in the mud. But if you learn the skill of focusing forward, living in the now, briefly glancing in other directions from time to time to reassess your movement, you will be able to move freely and without danger, and you will reach your destination more efficiently and in a timely manner. If you focus on a problem rather than the way to get out of it, to move ahead, it will not only be dangerous to yourself, but to those around you, because you will move in and out of lanes that you were not supposed to be in. You were supposed to stay in one steady place. And it can cause others to also have pitfalls by your own behavior. Remember that recovery means to return to a normal state of health and mind and strength, and it is an action process of regaining possession or control of something that was stolen or lost. When we focus on our past, we focus on what we cannot control. It's like getting stuck in rush hour traffic, and the time that it takes for us to get from A to B takes so much longer. But if we take a shorter route, the one that was mapped out for us, that tells us how to avoid the accidents by living in the now, we will see more clearly, and we will have much more peace, and we will reach our destination much more quickly. If you learn the skill of staying focused and staying in your lane on the present issue and how to solve it, you won't have to keep rerouting your path over and over and wasting precious time. But gradually, in spite of the obstacles, you're going to reach your destination. And the present problem will fall behind you. Now, the other issue comes for those in recovery when just as you get out of that grueling traffic and you're able to avoid one problem and many obstacles and challenges, you go forward a few miles only to meet yet another problem or an accident in the road. Now, in this moment of time, your mind can go in some crazy, different, reckless directions. Let me just point some of them out. Number one, I can never catch a break. Why did I even think I was going to get anywhere? Life is just not fair. Here's another one. Number two, I can't deal with another thing. Why did I even try? And you exit off the path, never returning to your course of action, never reaching your destination. Here's number three. Well, this is going to be a long day, but I made it a few more miles. I guess this just comes with the territory of getting from A to B. I need to stay on the course. This will be over soon. Here's another. Let me see if there is another route I can take around, so I'm not so delayed. Here's another one. Or we can get set off into anger about the situation that is taking place in front of us that was completely out of our control, and we start obsessing about all the things that have happened in our life, thinking about all the things that will never come to pass. And lastly, we can say, I'm glad I wasn't the person in that accident. Let me see if there's anything I can do to help. Somebody is obviously having a worse day than me. Which category did you locate yourself in? If we focus in moments like these, it will cause us as individuals to adapt to our present situation and enable us to clearly see the future that is in our heart. Focus will clearly define our center of interest and activity. One of the illustrations I gave you of someone who's thinking is the perfect example of someone who is thinking in recovery mentality, not relapse mentality. Kingdom recovery mentality. Well, this is going to be a long day, but I made it a few more miles. I guess this just comes from the territory of going from A to B. I need to stay the course. This will be over soon. This is a person who's thinking with a clear head, focusing on the task before them and the path in which they're to go. And as we focus on solutions to relieve the problems behind in the rearview mirror, and hope lies before us, and it can be marvelous. Solutions are all about focus. Be sure to spend your energy on the right things in order to avoid accidents and tragic events going forward. Remember that your future is bright, full of promise. Let me give you one more illustration to think about. Your car breaks down. You might take it to the garage to have the car looked at. First thing the intake person would say is, "What's the problem you're having?" When you begin to describe the problem, they may decide to run a diagnostic test on your engine or do other things to create a process of an elimination so that they can fix the real problem. How far you did was, so far all you've done is tell the mechanic what the problem was. He ran the test and he affirmed that yes or no, that was not or was the true problem. For instance, your engine is making a sound, and you might think it's the engine, but actually the problem is that you just need some oil. Once you put the oil in the car seems to run like a top. And a miracle takes place, and all the other issues that you once had disappear. But if the problem was simply diagnosed and the mechanic said, "Okay, I see the problem. Now drive your car without fixing it," your vehicle would not function and its optimum level and the problem would still exist. Unless the solution to the problem is actually fixed, your car will not improve or go anywhere for very long without further issues arising. If we don't find solutions and attack our problems head on, after the problem is diagnosed, we'll remain the same. There are so many people in recovery who see the problem but avoid it and don't follow after how to fix it and hope it goes away. My friend, it will not go away like that. That would be like driving and getting a flat tire and sitting on the side of the road and saying, "Well, I guess I'll just have to sit here and time will take care of it. Time will heal it." And you wait and you wait, but unless you get out of your car, take off the flat tire and put on the spare, you're not going anywhere. Do you have a choice? You have a choice whether to focus on your problem or to focus on your solution. And your focus will make all the difference to your outcome. Many people stay stuck in cycles for years at a time, never finding solutions, and they stay in a perpetual cycle of unhappiness and brokenness and addiction. So what's the point that I'm trying to make to you today? Stay solution focused, not problem focused. I understand that life is a journey and there will be roadblocks, there will be accidents, there will be events along the way. And when they arrive, keep your eyes out in front of you in the windshield. Don't live in the rearview mirror. Don't always look for a way to get around your obstacles by looking in the side mirrors. Look straight ahead. Focus on the problem. Learn to think things through and make quality decisions. And you'll find that your problems will fall to the wayside. And you'll find that you'll reach your destinations and your goals, your dreams and your visions much quicker. How do you know you're problem focused instead of solution focused? Here's one example. I hear people repeatedly say, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed." Problem focused. We may even say that to a person, "Well, let's work together to get the solution." But every suggestion you give them returns back to the same thing. "You don't understand. I've tried that. I've tried it all. I'm depressed. I can't help it." Here are some critical things that have to take place in this moment. Until you ask yourself the real question, like, why am I depressed? Is it clinical? Have I been to the doctor to get this checked out? Or is there something presently that I'm going through in my life that right on these feelings or experiences of depression? Can I find a counselor, a minister, or a friend that I can talk things through and discover the pain that is causing this depression? Is perhaps there's something spiritual going on, like maybe I'm in disobedience, or maybe fear, or some challenge that is causing this depression? Once we find the reason, let me say that one more time. Once we find the reason, then we can begin moving forward in our path of success. And then the source of our depression. So when we find the reason for the source of our depression, and we don't focus on depression, we focus on our way out of the depression, our way to help the problem. Then the problem can be removed. So let me close today on this talk with the word focus. F, focus. Identify the problem, but focus on the solution. O, overcome negative thinking on past events or the future things you can't control. C, correct your focus and your thoughts will follow. U, understand, gain understanding and proceed in a forward direction to remove the problem. And lastly, S, succeed and reach the destination of victory. So focus, overcome, correct, understand, and succeed. Be a problem solver. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the solution. Don't drive through the rearview mirror or the side view. Look straight ahead. Diagnose the problem and tackle it head on. And you will soon reach a destination of victory in your recovery.